Before I conclude my statement, I would like to offer a few observations about the nature of the Ag Committee and our special role in the lives of Americans, farmers, ranchers, and rural communities. The Ag Committee is at its best when we work together. Today is an excellent example of this. The Senate received Mr. Bennon's nomination on September 20th. Our staffs have worked in a coordinated fashion to review his paperwork and his record, and today we meet in a bipartisan fashion to hear from the nominee, whom I feel confident will be confirmed, and certainly we will support, to be the next chairman of the CFTC. Unfortunately, days like today have become less frequent. The committee of recent has strayed from its traditions, and I fear the consequences to American agriculture, our farmers, ranchers, and rural communities. In the last 40 years in this committee, regardless of the party that controlled the Senate, there was some level of bipartisan input into the reconciliation process. That tradition ended this year. Consideration of the agriculture provisions of the American Rescue Plan Act earlier this year and the current reconciliation legislation represent the first time in more than 40 years leadership of the committee has chosen to abandon our bipartisan traditions. Unfortunately, it appears our country's farmers and ranchers have not been consulted either. I know that I count on the wisdom and experience of our country's producers and the leaders from our rural communities to inform me. I have no evidence that in the development of the reconciliation bill that any input was sought from our major farm organizations. In fact, when I asked them if they were consulted, they tell me that they were not. Many of our fellow citizens who live in rural America believe that people in Washington think, and I stress think, they know what is best for our farm families and our rural communities. There is a feeling among many of the people who do not live in our nation's cities that their political leaders do not value their expertise or their opinions and do not understand their lives. When the Senate Ag Committee decides to forego the expertise and opinion of those we are entrusted to represent, we are not living up to what we should be our commitment to our farmers, ranchers, and rural communities.